Today, we're taking a focused look at Hürjet, the supersonic advanced jet trainer and light combat aircraft developed by Turkish Aerospace, and why the program has attracted growing attention beyond Turkey's national requirements. This is not just the story of a new aircraft entering service. It is about how air forces are adapting pilot training to modern combat realities, how industrial cooperation shapes long-term capability, and why Spain's recent decision to move forward with Hurjet represents a notable milestone for the program within a NATO context. Modern air combat is increasingly defined by complexity rather than raw performance alone. Today's fighter pilots must manage advanced sensors, digital cockpits, data links, and networked command and control environments, often simultaneously. These demands begin well before a pilot ever arrives at an operational fighter unit. As a result, the training aircraft used in the advanced phase must prepare students not only to fly fast jets, but to operate within information-dense and time-critical scenarios.
This is Hurjet, the Turkish trainer jet that Spain is going to be acquiring 30 from Türkiye. Now, the price tag is about 2.4 billion euros. That's about $2.8 billion. The Turkish government is saying this goes to show the confidence many countries have in the defense sector of Türkiye. We understand that there are a number of other countries that are currently talking to Türkiye about various Turkish military products. Also, the Turkish authorities are telling us that this plane has great integration capabilities when it comes to the European security architecture. And that, of course, links to the confidence various countries have when it comes to Turkish defense products. Now, the manufacturing process of this plane started back in 2017, went on for 6 years. The first successful test flight was carried out in 2023. And since then, the Turkish side is saying that the interest in this jet in particular has been on the rise, and they're expecting more countries to approach Türkiye to purchase these.
Advanced jet trainers fill this role. Positioned between basic flight training and full fighter conversion, they are designed to expose pilots to high-speed flight, formation tactics, instrument procedures, and mission-style workloads that resemble those of frontline aircraft. The more effectively this phase prepares pilots, the less time and cost are required later on expensive operational fighters, improving overall force readiness. Hürjet was conceived to address this requirement. Turkish Aerospace presents the aircraft as an advanced jet trainer, with the option to configure it for light combat roles depending on customer needs. This dual-purpose concept reflects a broader trend among air forces seeking platforms that offer flexibility across training and limited operational tasks. In permissive environments, or for missions such as armed reconnaissance, air policing support, or close air support, such aircraft can complement higher-end fighters rather than replace them. In terms of published performance characteristics, Hürjet is positioned above many legacy training jets. Publicly available program information describes a supersonic aircraft with a maximum speed around Mach 1.4, a service ceiling in the region of 45,000 feet, and structural limits compatible with high-G maneuvering. The aircraft is also described with a payload capacity in the class of approximately 6,000 pounds, supporting the concept of a light combat configuration capable of carrying external stores. These figures indicate a design intended to expose pilots to higher energy flight profiles and increased workload during training. The development path of Hürjet is closely linked to Turkey's broader defense industrial objectives. Development activity has been publicly associated with the late 2010s, with 2017 frequently cited as an early reference point. A key institutional step occurred in 2022 when Turkey's Senior Defense Procurement Authority approved decisions related to serial production planning. This signaled an intention to move the program beyond prototype development toward operational service and industrial scaling. The aircraft subsequently progressed through the standard stages of a fast jet test program. After rollout and ground testing, it advanced through engine runs and taxi trials before completing its first flight in 2023. While a maiden flight represents only the beginning of a long validation process, it marks the transition from design and assembly into sustained flight testing, where performance, handling, and system behavior are assessed progressively. Advanced trainers are ultimately judged not only by their flight characteristics, but by their ability to generate reliable training output. Availability, maintenance demands, logistics, and upgrade potential are critical factors for air forces planning decades of service. This is why propulsion choices and industrial partnerships receive close attention. In 2024, GE Aerospace announced a memorandum of understanding with Turkish Aerospace and TEI focused on cooperation related to Hürjet and evaluation work associated with integrating F404 engines into future variants. For prospective customers, the use of a well-established engine family can help reduce sustainment uncertainty over the aircraft's life cycle. From a strategic perspective, Hürjet serves multiple objectives for Turkey. It supports national training requirements, contributes to domestic aerospace capability, and positions the country as a supplier of complex crewed aircraft. Jet trainers are particularly significant in export terms because they tend to anchor long-term relationships. Once selected, they drive continuous flying activity, simulator investment, instructor training, spare parts pipelines, and periodic modernization over many years. This context helps explain why Spain's decision carries particular weight. Spain has been seeking a replacement for its aging advanced jet trainers, and over time, Hurjet became associated with that requirement. Public reporting has highlighted not only aircraft evaluation, but also discussions around industrial cooperation involving Turkish Aerospace, Spanish partners, and Airbus. This suggests an approach focused on integration and sustainment rather than a purely transactional purchase. On the 30th of December 2025, Reuters reported that Spain had reached an agreement valued at approximately 2.6 billion euros to procure Hürjet, describing it as the aircraft's first foreign sale and outlining deliveries across a multi-year period beginning in the late 2020s. While specific contractual structures and phases may continue to evolve, the announcement represents a significant step for the program and its export ambitions. Spain's move is notable because it represents the first publicly announced procurement decision for Hürjet by a NATO member state. Spain is a long-standing NATO ally with extensive aerospace experience and established standards for pilot training and fleet sustainment. Its decision therefore provides an early reference point for other air forces monitoring the advanced trainer market, even as competition among different platforms continues. This development comes at a time when many air forces face similar challenges. Training demand is rising as combat aircraft become more complex while budgets and fleet availability remain constrained. Advanced trainers play an important role in addressing this gap by delivering high-fidelity preparation at lower operating cost than frontline fighters. A platform that also offers optional light combat capability can provide additional flexibility depending on national doctrine and requirements. In summary, Hurjet is designed to modernize the advanced training phase by offering higher performance and systems relevance, while maintaining adaptability for customers interested in additional mission roles. The program's progression through development, flight testing, and industrial cooperation reflects a sustained effort to move toward long-term operational use. Spain's decision, reported at the end of 2025, marks a meaningful milestone by placing Hurjet on the procurement path of a European NATO air force, increasing its visibility and credibility on the international stage. The next phase will depend on execution, production, delivery schedules, sustainment performance, and integration into real training syllabi. But at this stage, Hurjet has clearly moved beyond a national development project and entered a broader strategic conversation within the defense aviation community.